Hey, my name is Elkay and welcome to my first speed build. Today's speed build is for a micro home. I actually decided to build this micro home in Newcrest, and it's on one of the 15 by 20 lots. It's the one closest to the canal. I believe it's called Comfy Cubby. So this build, I decided to go with, it's kind of a rustic industrial style. I don't know if that is a style, if that exists, but that's what I went for. That's what I would call this. If you would call it something different, definitely let me know, because I'm not so sure about that descriptor, but I don't know what else to say. So if you can come up with a better way to describe this style, definitely let me know in the comments below. Anyway, so it's kind of a studio style. So the only room that really, there's two rooms. There's one room for everything except the bathroom. The bathroom definitely needs its own space. I mean, it's bad enough that I put the bed right basically in the kitchen. You wouldn't want your shower and your toilet and next to the stove and the fridge as well. That would just be chaotic, which might work for some things. Hey, I mean, when you're doing a Rags to Riches challenge, you gotta do what you gotta do, but that's not what we're doing today. So I would imagine that the person that lives here is going to be really into gardening. They kind of live that eco lifestyle. So obviously I used a lot of the items from the eco lifestyle pack in the build. I also used a lot of tiny living, and I mean, I think I used something from every pack. But it's a small build, so as long as I think if you have eco lifestyle and tiny living, I think most of the other stuff can be replaced pretty easily, but because of the Murphy bed and then some of the style choices, the wallpaper that I used on the outside of the build, that would give you the same overall look, even if you have to replace some of the other things. You may notice that I jump a lot from the Sims 3 camera to the Sims 4 camera. That's because I use both a lot while I'm building. For basic building, I like to use the Sims 4 camera, but when it comes to actually placing objects, I switch over to the Sims 3 camera. When you jump from Sims 4 camera to Sims 3 camera, it changes the camera angles because they work so differently. It actually changes the angle. So because of the way that I naturally like to build, it makes editing even more of a nightmare. So hopefully it's not too bad. If you guys find it kind of difficult to follow, definitely let me know. I need this feedback. I'm still new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. This is only my second video. It's my first speed build. I don't know what I'm doing, so please, if you have any advice, definitely let me know. I will take all of it into consideration and really try to do what you enjoy to watch. I mean, I'm trying to do it the way that I like to watch things, but that may not be how everybody likes it. I don't know. So yeah, I would really appreciate the feedback. That'd be great. So there's not a stove in this house, but there is a barbecue in the backyard. I decided that a stove wasn't as necessary as the kitchen sink. A sink not being in the kitchen just looks kind of weird. If I could have it just a little bit bigger, if I had a tiny home instead of a micro home, I definitely would have added a stove. I wanted that matching stove to the pale yellow fridge. I wanted the stove in the pale yellow, but unfortunately, it had to go. It just had to be sacrificed for the greater good of this tiny house. Anyway, and then I used I brought in that blue color that's on the couch. I really love that. Is it a blue-gray? I don't know. I'd call it blue-gray. And I brought that into the backsplash behind the kitchen and the Murphy bed. I just thought that was a good pop of color. I'm adding in a desk over on the side. And then I believe I put a laptop in there because I just think it's important. There's so many things that your Sims end up having to do with the laptop that I find that in most builds it's going to be a necessity. Unless you're doing a challenge where you can't have modern technology, I would put in a laptop or a computer. Definitely over a TV any day. So I'll be adding that in a minute. And you can see here I'm just adding stuff onto the shelves. I know in a bit I end up using the OMSP red shelf. There we go. I end up using that shelf because it is a lifesaver when it comes to placing objects. I know that everybody gets so frustrated that we cannot place most objects on the shelves in the game. It's so frustrating. There's so many times I'll be like, oh, this would look great on the shelf. Nope, can't do it, even though you definitely should be able to. There's bigger items that you can fit on shelves that like it'll fit, and then you go to put something smaller that definitely should fit and it won't fit. I don't know who makes this decision, but I would like to have a chat with you about why do you want to make my life so difficult? In any case, I've kind of gone with a natural muted interior color scheme. So like the blues and the yellows, like there's a little pop of color in the painting, like just a little bit of red in there. But I wanted to keep it not too bright and overwhelming since it is such a small space. But it's very comfortable. I don't feel like this space feels as small as it really is. And I think that has to do with a lot of the lighter colors that I went with. You may have noticed that I raised the TV up on that bookshelf that I hung on the wall. I thought that was kind of a fun idea. I haven't seen anybody do it. I'm sure they have. I can't be the first one. But I really like the way that looks. It saves space. It's not as clunky as using like a dresser or a TV stand. It definitely looked better in this space. So it's not, again, not too cluttered. This house is just a rectangle. Like, it's just a very basic rectangle. I didn't go too crazy with it. It's hard to go too crazy with a 32 tile build. Like, the micro homes you can't really do too much with. I didn't want to do any like triangles or like, yeah, it would look cool, but then I have less usable space. So it's already a challenge enough trying to get everything into 32 tiles. In the future, I'll probably try to experiment with a few more shapes, but for today, we just kept it simple. We're at the rectangle. It's my first speed build. Just wanted to keep it simple. So I made sure to add a nice tall fence around the build because the front door that I chose, I think it's perfect. It lets in a lot of light. It goes with the style. It's great. It's a great front door. However, there is absolutely no privacy when you are sleeping in that bed. Your bed is right by your front door. So when Vlad definitely comes by your house, as he often does, he's going to be able to just see you sleeping. And, you know, if you have a gate out front and you lock that, Vlad's not going to be able to see you sleeping. I mean, unless, he's a vampire. You could probably just sneak around it. But other people, you know, other Sims, they won't see you. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So that's also why I added the little windows on either side of the door. It's just, you know, it's to fake modesty, fake a little privacy. The front door may as well just be open. It's, you know, it's all glass. But we faked it a little. So I definitely added a lot of greenery and plants. And I love that 3-tiered planter that came with Eco Lifestyle. I have that over on the left side of on the staircase. I love that planter. I think it's gorgeous. I haven't gotten to use it too much, so I definitely wanted to add that into the build. If you would like to download this build, then it is available on the gallery. ShyGirl938. Is that an embarrassing name? Absolutely. But that's just what it is. So, ShyGirl938. Look it up. That's where all my builds are. Back to the build. So for activities in this house, there is a TV, a laptop, and a bookshelf. And then for skills, I just basically stuck with the gardening. You can definitely do other things like work on your laptop, or there's the skill building books that you can get on the bookshelf. But yeah, there's no other real skill building items. An easel would go really great in here. I didn't add it because I add an easel to almost every build, so I'm trying not to do that. Yeah, so up here we're just doing a little rooftop hangout area where like somebody could come up here and just sunbathe, or they could hang out with friends. And I put like a workbench along the side there. I would imagine that that's where like they keep some of their gardening tools in those drawers and whatnot. I just really like the way that looked. I added some of the hydroponic planters on the side there, and we're adding some more plants. I tried to add a lot of greenery without going too overboard because I don't want to, because when you start to add too many plants, it takes away that industrial modern look a bit. So I wanted plants, but I didn't want it to be like overgrown. And all right, yeah, we're just finishing up the inside. I keep going from the inside to the outside of the build. I get distracted very easily when I'm building. I don't really stick to, if I'm doing a big house, I'll stick to one room. But with little houses, I I'm all over the place, so hopefully that's not too hard to watch. I tried to edit out a lot of the camera angles. I went between the Sims 3 and the Sims 4 camera. I was going between them like crazy. The Sims 3 camera is great. It's great for placing things. But personally, and I'm in the minority here, I prefer to use the Sims 4 camera when I'm just building. But when it comes to actually placing the items, Sims 3 camera is much better. So we are getting towards the end of the video here, and we're going to be getting into some of the screenshots. But before that, yeah, I'm just going to let you know that I did playtest everything. So everything does work. Anything that didn't work, I just took it out of the build. Had to remove a few cute things, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, right? Like, unfortunately, you can't have a cute basket under the sink if you can't use the sink. What would be the point? So if it doesn't work, then it's gots to go, unfortunately. C'est la vie. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would comment and subscribe. I really feel awkward asking you to do these things. This is only my second video. It feels really weird to ask you to do this, but that, I guess, is what you gotta do on YouTube. I would appreciate it. You know, give it a little thumbs up. I mean, you can give it a thumbs down if you want. It might make me cry, but you won't see it, so it'll be fine. It won't be too awkward for you. For me, it'll be a nightmare, but for you, it should be fine. If you really don't like it, that's up to you. I started this channel because I don't have anyone to talk to about The Sims. I don't have anyone to share this with. I have loved The Sims since the beginning, since the year 2000. But yeah, I was a child in the year 2000, and I loved The Sims, and I still love The Sims now as an adult. But I've never had anybody to talk to about it. So I would love to just have a little community, even if it's just like 20 of us that want to talk about The Sims. Like, I want to talk to you about The Sims. Be my friend, please. Was that too desperate? Did I come on too strong? Oof. I have social anxiety, and I'm a little awkward. Subscribe. I'm such a dork, I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you comment, you thumbs up, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I hope I see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.